man, I'm back. And today I was really like just cleaning up around the house. Normally I would pick up, I would vlog, I would do all of those things, and I did not. But I just had a quick question, message. I just want to say this. So I had to come on and talk about it. Have you ever just been in a place in your life where you were wondering, like, God is telling me to do something, but I don't know if he wants me to do it. Like, I don't know what will happen. And I posted a video recently, said, what does it look like to trust God? And the reason I'm doing this is because sometimes he will literally have us do stuff where it's totally out of what we would do. Leave a job, move to a different city, move to a different state, and a relationship, stay in a relationship. It's just so many things that God can have you do that's so out of your will. It's not something that you would naturally do. And you're like, is this really God? Should I do this? Okay. And then let's just say that you do it one day. You decide, yes, God is telling me to do this. I have sat with God, which that's what you have to do. When you get to that point where you're in your life and you're like, I feel like God is telling me to do this. This is not something that I would naturally do. That's really how you know. I know with me, it's been several things since I've been on my journey, since I have strengthened my relationship with God, which it has been almost 3 years, maybe a little over 3 years. But since I have done that, it's been several things where I have been like, let me sit with God. Let me sit with God. And what I mean by sit with God, that's like silencing all of the noise. Sometimes I have been not talking to a spouse, not talking to friends, not talking to family, like literally sitting with God, only me and him, so I get the clarity that I need, right? And not letting anyone shift me on how I'm feeling or what I know God is telling me. Like, if you have the gift of discernment, you know what God is saying to you. You know what you need to do. And sometimes that's literally walking by faith and not by sight. That means you don't know. You just know that God told you it was going to happen, but you literally have no idea, is it going to happen? So you're literally just trusting God with you. You're trusting God with everything in you. And I have went through so many circumstances where that was me. Literally where I laid all my cares and anxiety onto him because I know how much he cared for me. It was literally where I was walking by faith and not by sight. I didn't know how it was going to look. And then God recently with big things just started showing me how it was going to look. And just showing me that this is what it is. Like, remember when I told you this? Here it is. I'm handing it over to you. You have done your work. The fruit of your labor is now ready to be here for you in front of your face. So I'm looking for something to show y'all. I just tell everybody, like, trust the process with God. I told somebody once before with a situation that was going on in my life, and they was like, so you really gonna do that? Yes, because God is telling me to. I don't know, girl. I wouldn't do that, this, that, and the other. And I said, well, let me tell you like this. All my life, I have been doing things the Camila way. And you know what I have realized about doing it my way? It has not been working for me. So that means if God is telling me to do this thing differently, I am going to do it differently. I don't even think I shared with y'all on this channel my story about how I became a program trainer after being a teacher for 25 years. That was the first time that was the very first time I spoke with God and I said, God, look, if it's meant for me to be at this job, which I was a teacher, if it's meant for me to be at this job, please just give me everything that I need to move like you want me to move. Like, don't cause me to have attitudes. I want to be at peace, God. So if this is the only thing that you have for me to do at this time of my life or for the rest of my life is to be an educator, please just give me the patience that I need. If not, God, wherever you open up a door for me, I am going to walk through it. I don't care if I don't understand. I don't care what it is. And I said that to God. And I'll never forget, maybe 2 hours later, the old director, well, you can say principal at that school, she reached out to me about the program trainer position. And I remember when she called, it was so random. I still remember where I was sitting at and everything. And me and her we were associates. So she would randomly call me all the time just to check in. I call her and check in. And I never forget, she say my name like Camila, and it would irritate me, but she knew it did. But she would always say my name like that, and she said my name like that. And she said, you want to be a program trainer for this company? And I'm like, girl, I have never been a program trainer before. I don't know what that entails. Like, I don't know what that is. And she just started explaining to me, like, yes, you have. You were the master teacher. It's the same thing. You're just training people to be their best. And I'm like, I don't know about that. And she was like, well, think about it. I know you're uncomfortable with change, which I was. I was a person who everything had to be a certain way. I was not comfortable with change. And it was my anxiety would take over. And I needed everything to be a certain way. So she said that to me, and I remember I had conversations with people, my spouse, my mama. I even had a co-teacher at the time. I had a conversation with her, and mostly everybody was very encouraging and saying, yes, do it, do it, do it. And then I sat down and I wasn't somebody who was, I've always known God, but I did not have a relationship with God, and there's a big difference. A relationship with God and saying that you're a quote-unquote Christian is totally different. They're two totally different things. So then I did not have a relationship with God. I knew about God. I was, okay, yes, God, that's who I worship, all of those things. But I wasn't praying. I wasn't reading the Bible. I wasn't going to him and calling out to him and asking him to give me clarification with stuff. I wasn't doing any of those things. So when I sat with him that day and I said what I said, because I was just so fed up with my circumstances, with the job that I was working I'm gonna be honest, I had reached my rock bottom. You know how you just reach your rock bottom, and I was just crying out, God, whatever. So I had remember how I was feeling in that moment, and I was like, you know what? I said, I'm just gonna at least try it. So let me just submit my resume like she said, and I'm going to try it. So I submitted my resume, and I'm like, okay, she was the person that was the director over everything, right? So she had to say so on some of the say so, a little bit of the say so on if I got to the next round. So I'm like, okay, if my resume is not selected, then I know it wasn't for me, because I did pray. I asked God. So I get a call. She was like, okay, everybody saw your resume. You on to the next part. So the next part was the interview phase. And I remember her coaching me. She literally had to coach me to this interview, because she was my supervisor, and she knew like I did not like change. Like I would probably still be at that job if it wasn't for God. Like I literally would have still been there. So she coached me about the interview, and she asked me what day. I picked my day. It was virtual. And the day before the interview, she calls me up and she's like, okay, are you still a go? She said, and I remember her saying it was either going to be, I'm nervous, but yes, I'm going to do it. She said, I knew it was going to be a no. I changed my mind. And I said, I'm nervous, but yes, I'm going to do it. I remember talking to my co-teacher about it, and she cried. She did all of the things, but she was like, you deserve it. You deserve it. Go, go, go. And I'm like, girl, I don't even know how to, because I wasn't good with computers, y'all, none of that stuff. So even me doing content is different for me, because I don't ask anyone to help me. I started out asking my daughter to help me, but now everything that I'm doing it by myself. If I ask somebody one time to help me do something and they don't help me, I pray, I ask God, and God opens up the door. Like, I don't beg nobody to do nothing, because now I'm at a stage in my life where I say, if I ask somebody to do it and they don't do it, God wants me to figure it out on my own. So a lot of the things that I have been doing, since I've been building my relationship with God, I just been figuring out things on my own. And sometimes he'll literally place people in my life so I can see how they do it, and then I just figure it out myself. And I be thinking that God has them coming to me to help me, but no, it's for me to figure it out myself for the journey that he has me about to go on. He keeps leveling me up. So I did the interview, and it was a virtual interview, and I just showed my personality, who I am, because I'm like, let me be me. I ain't gonna get in here and act all. So I was just like me, myself, and I. And I remember her telling me, they're going to ask you probably, she said there will be a selection of like 25 questions, but they're only going to ask you 5 of the questions. And I'm like, okay. So as they're asking me questions, I'm like counting down. Okay, we on question number 2. We on question number 3. We at 5. And then they just keep going. They keep going. They keep going. And now the interview don't lasted like 2 hours. So I'm like, she said 5 questions. I know we don't pass up. I don't stop counting. So we get off the interview, but before we get off, I remember telling them, well, y'all might as well not look nowhere else, because you already know that I'm the best candidate for the position. Like, come on, who would resist this? Like, that's how I ended the interview. I'm like, so they was like, do you have any questions? I'm like, no, I have no questions. I just want to know, when do I get my offer letter? I'm like, but I don't have any questions. Like, that was the energy that I was bringing. So we get off, and then 20 minutes later, she texts me, and she said she said they selected the best candidate. And I said, well, congratulations to whoever it is, and I know they'll be great at the position. And she was like, it's you. They selected you. And I was like, wow, really? Because some of those questions that they asked, I did not know the answer to, y'all. Like, I didn't know anything about spreadsheets. I didn't know nothing about nothing. So some of the questions that they asked, I was like, Holy Spirit. Then I wasn't talking like that, but now I know that it was literally God in my corner just telling me. He was flowing, working through me. Like, now how he be working through me, he was literally working through me. So I'm saying all this to say that was my first time trusting him. That was my first time walking by faith, not by sight. And now I know I was in that position so I could grow, because of where God is about to take me now. And it was all because of my obedience. When he opened up that door for me, and I said, if you position me to be here while I'm humble and I'm calm and I'm patient, or if you send me somewhere else, I will surrender over to you. I will do your work. I will do whatever it is you need me to do. I never told anyone that I said that, like that whole thing. I did tell people that I just asked God to, if it was meant for me to be there at that job, just make it where I can calm down, because I was so frustrated. I felt like I was not being fair to the kids. Like, I had got to the point, give me some water. I had got to the point where I was more aggravated than usual, because I'm older. So that's why I said the prayer, because I'm like, I don't want to be unfair to my children in the classroom. Like, I always want to give them everything that I got. I want to be fair and all of those things. So when I said that to God, I really was just asking him, y'all, for real, if this is what I'm supposed to do, please give me the patience, or either move me, and whatever you decide to do with me, I'm going to honor what you say from now on. And that's what I've been doing. People don't understand a lot of things that I do, and it's not for anyone to understand. But when God tells me to open up a door, I'm going to open it. When he tells me to stay behind that door and don't open it, I'm not going to open it. If God tells me to move to another state today, I'm packing up and I'm moving. Period, point blank. Because I know the God that I serve and I know the purpose that he has for me. Was being on that job easy? No. It was not easy. I had times where I wanted to give up, but God always gave me the tools that I needed. And now I have the more knowledge than I have ever had in my life. So I'm saying all this to say, if God is telling you to do anything and you're doubting it and you're scared, or if you feel like God might be telling you to do something, sit with him. And like I tell everybody, I always take any message that I give you to God. I am not God. I cannot answer no prayers. I can't do any of that. I am just a vessel that God chooses to use. That's all I am. So this message is definitely for somebody. It's for somebody. I'm not telling you to leave your job, but I'm telling you, if God is telling you he's about to shift things in your career, in your relationship, in your if you go to school, with your family, take it to God, y'all. Y'all have to take it to God, and y'all have to trust that he has you covered. He has you covered. Moving, all of that stuff, take it to God. This message is for somebody because I wasn't going to record today. So somebody needed it, and I'm going to post it today, even though I have other content that I just edited. I feel like this is something that needs to be posted today. Y'all, I love you, but most importantly, God does. It ain't nothing you can do about it but love him right on back. That's all you can do, period. What they say, I forgot what the kids say, but they be doing that stuff. I don't know what they mean, but they be doing it. But allow God to be the navigation of your life. That's what we talking about, right? We just said that. We allowing God to be the navigation of our life, and he will not steer us wrong, right? If we trusting the navigation in our car, on our phone, to get us from point A to point B on that road, we can definitely trust God with our life, right? I love you guys. See y'all later.